To the DecalLabs Track Addict SBR GT3. This is round number 4 of season 6, coming to you from Brands Hatch GP. Cracking little British circuit and a grid full of cars ready to go racing. As you can see there, SCLD, otherwise known as Lewis Edwards, claimed the pole position from Nathan Tompkinson, but Jake Hill in third and Ben Milden completing your first 2 rows as seen by the grid graphic just before. A change in the GoPro camp. The number 7 Mazda today being piloted by Chris Clements. See how he does. He qualified in 5th place for this race. Other than that, other changes are the 2 Motorcraft Fords have changed cars. They are now in the Jägermeister BMW M6s. That is Jake Hill and Mark Ellis. Other than that, everyone in their respective cars. We've got 2 Mildens, obviously Ben Milden in the Coca-Cola Porsche number 27 and Dean Milden in the number 22 Poppy's Lexus. Other than that, I think it's time to go racing. We've got 29 laps here at Brands Hatch. It's time to see what happens as we get the action going. Start to hear the revs rise now as the lights come on. And we're underway here at Brands Hatch. It's a good start from Tompkinson, and there goes Cool as well up into 4th place as they head towards Paddock Hill for the first time of 29 in this endurance race. Through Paddock Hill, and Will Friedman's been pushed wide immediately off into the gravel trap off Paddock Hill, but gets back on. Cool, let's go around the outside of Hill, through Druids as we go down towards Graham Hill Bend. Edwards under serious pressure, but Cool just behind. A little bit side by side with Hill. They're still side by side as they head down the Cooper straight into Surtees. Cool getting the better of the BMW though. And here comes Clements looking for a move on the number 24 machine. Down Pilgrim's dropping in up to Hawthorns. Still side by side. Hill's going to claim the place though on these. Very hard to overtake around the outside of Hawthorns. It is doable. You have to trust the car though. That's with you. McEwen is trying to get Ben Milden, but I think he had Hardy down the inside. Ends up going wide, and he's gone down the order. Nick H in the other GoPro machine currently in 8th. That is Nick Hancock's. Through Sterling. Hancock's just going slightly wide there. Just time to try to clean his tyres off. There is Ellis. Get the names off. Here we are with Brian Ross. He's currently in 13th place. He's got McEwen behind. McEwen looking for a move down the inside of Paddock Hill, or at least trying to get a run up into Druids. And Rob Adams is in 15th place at the moment. I think Will Friedman is probably, yes he is, last man on track. Back at the front though, Tompkinson still leads from Edwards and Cool. Jake Hill still under pressure here from Clements, but it looks like a move is potentially going to be made here for 2nd place. Sean Cool in the AMG Mercedes, looking to go down the inside at the exit of Surtees, looking for the outside of Hawthorns, gets the move done on Edwards. The number 52 McLaren, unable to stop the raw power of the Mercedes there. Down Pilgrim's drop. Through Sheen curve into Sterling. Still line astern. There's Ellis. There's Dean Milden. He's got Bristow behind. The Alitalia Alfa Romeo, number 48. As they cross the line for the 2nd time. On to lap 3. And it looks like Cool is under attack here from Edwards. going into Druids, and Hill is not too far behind, and he's bringing Clements with him. Freeman, it looks like Ross has gone backwards. Lovely little camera shot that is. But at the moment, no change at the front 5. Though Edwards a little bit sliding, a little bit of a slide through Hawthorns, just catching the curb wrong, and Hill smells a potential overtake. And again, the McLaren gets loose over the curbing. Up through Dingledale into Sheen Curve. And it's Edwards that loses out onto the grass. Gets back on into 6th place, but Hill up into the podium positions yet again. That McLaren really unsettled by the off-road excursion. This has just allowed Tompkinson and Cool to get away yet again. Those Mercedes absolutely dominant at the moment. Clements is going to have Ben Milden behind him. The number 27 Porsche in the Coca-Cola livery. We want to hang around. He's on the super soft tyres. Softs for Tompkinson, super softs for Cool, softs for Hill, softs for Clements, and super softs for Ben Milden. Gaps just starting to open up throughout the field. There's Mark Ellis. There's McEwen, followed by Bristow, the 2 Alfa Romeos. And that is Jay Hardy. They head through Hawthorns. Ross at the back of the pack, just going through Pilgrim's Drop now. He's obviously lost a lot of time with an incident there, and I can tell you what, those Nissans probably not enjoying it around Brands Hatch right now. Those cars are more of a straight line spectacle. So Hill currently occupying 3rd place on the racing soft tyres. Milden is going to probably want to try and get past here as soon as possible. He's on those super soft tyres. Which means in an ideal world, he would prefer to be ahead and gaining the time, because those tyres will go on faster. Although Clements really is having a good look at Hill as they go through Hawthorns. He's making that Mazda work very, very well. The Mercedes machine normally operated by Hogan, Jordan Hogan, who couldn't make this race. But Clements currently has the fastest lap of the race, a 122.6. So the car is quick enough to challenge the top. Tompkinson only a 122.7, 122.694 for Sean Cool. BMW stretches its legs though down the Brabham Straight and into Paddock Hill for the 6th time. Remember, these guys have to use the medium compound tyre for a quarter of the race distance. In this case, 7 laps. There's Ellis, there's McEwen on the back of the BMW now, the Jägermeister BMW with the Alitalia Alfa Romeo behind. Lovely looking cars, I must say, as well. The Alitalia Alfa Romeos, probably one of the nicest looking cars on the grid. As they head into Surtees, Alfa gets a good launch. Here comes McEwen up towards Pilgrim's Drop. Where is Ellis going to go? Goes to the inside, brings it back to the middle. Good defensive driving that from Ellis, just making sure there's no room. But the Alfa Romeo, oh, I thought Ellis was going to have hit the grass and allow the Alfa an opportunity, But McEwen, luckily, even though McEwen's got a car behind him, that is Bristow, his teammate. Now the two teammates won't fight each other. They will work together to get past the BMW here. So I suspect they're probably in a chat somewhere saying, right, let's work together, and Bristow probably saying to McEwen, I'm not going to fight you, just get a move done, I'll follow you through. And that move is coming sooner than we expect. Out of clearways through Clark Curve, and McEwen will take away 8th place, and Bristow goes through as well. Ellis loses 2 places in the space of 2 corners, and that is Jake Hill down in 7th place. Brand new set of super soft tyres though, so he is the first one to pit. It'll be interesting because the undercut is quite strong on GT Sports. See the game we are playing on. He's got Hancock's just ahead of him. As per normal though, as we've seen in this series, the 2 Mercedes are leading by a nice comfortable margin now to Chris Clements. However, Clements has free air now that Jake Hill's come in the pits, but he may end up pitting to try and cover that undercut. And it wouldn't surprise me if the Mercedes boys pit as well. Knowing how powerful the undercut can be, will anyone cover? Looks like the Mercedes are carrying on, as is Clements. However, Milden is in the pits. Ben Milden has come in the pits to change off of his super soft tyres, as has Edwards. Bristow goes through up into 5th place as McEwen comes in the pit, and I can see a few cars coming back on track with the medium compound of tyre. Luckily for Ben Milden, he has got ahead, he's stayed ahead of Jay Hardy, but he's also come out behind Lewis Edwards, which was not in the plan, and he's a fair margin away. But the biggest thing here is Jake Hill has now got 4th place and will be closing in, I suspect, on Clements. There's the gap there, and I think Clements will be unable to keep this 3rd place. Down towards Clearways and Clark Curve. Does the Mazda pull into the pits? No, he's going to carry on for one more. This is a very big stint now on the soft tyres. This is going to be the 9th lap, so he's done over a quarter of the race just on softs. Whether this is going to pay dividends, obviously one less stop, is it really going to pay off in the long run? We'll have to find out. Bristow currently occupying 5th place. Again, he's yet to pit. He's on super soft tyres. He's been on those since the start of the race. He's got Lewis Edwards behind. Is he going to... In reality, Bristow really shouldn't be fighting Edwards at this stage of the race. He's got a completely different strategy to fulfill. Not only that, this is going to be a real pain for Edwards, as the McLaren gets a nice little launch out of Surtees, down over Pilgrim's Drop and towards Hawthorns. Again, looking to the outside, he's got so much more grip, and round the outside, but he's run a bit wide onto the grass. He's keeping it absolutely pinned, still side by side, going into Westfield. Down the hill through Dingle Down, the Alfa Romeo just holding on. Up towards Sheen Curve. We have got past Bobby with the McLaren. Well, I see we got past, but side by side as Edwards completes the move into clearways and Bristow pits. That's an awful lot of time Edwards has unfortunately lost trying to get past. Here comes Cool though. Sean Cool out of the pits, and absolutely crucial, he was ahead of Edwards there, but he's lost a lot of time to Jake Hill. who's now catching up to Clements. See the gap Jake Hill has. He's just going through Surtees, meanwhile Call is going through Graham Hill. The undercut has worked an absolute treat. Jake Hill now has the fastest lap of the race, 1:22.5. Oh, through Hawthorns up to Westfields, and Jake Hill absolutely stuck to the bumper of that Lexus. The GoPro number 7 of Chris Clements through Sheen Curve up towards Stirling. Jake Hill looking for any form of a gap. You can see the time is losing him, 7/10 off of his best time. Chris Clements with the indicators on to say he's going into the pit. So Chris Clements comes in for his first stop of the race. Tompkinson is out in the pits as well. Jake Hill moves into the lead of this race here at Brands Hatch on lap 11. Sean Call will not get in front of Tompkinson either. So Tompkinson obviously a good solid lap there from the number 44 machine. But yet again, Jake Hill has a really nice advantage. He will have to pit earlier again, but as always, that undercut really does work. And track position is very important around Brands Hatch. It's not the easiest circuit to overtake on. Look at the order. Lewis Edwards currently resides in 4th place ahead of Jay Hardy, who I believe still is yet to pit. No, he has pitted. He's on super soft and he's made up a fair chunk of time. So the Hardy, bit of interesting action behind. Now is Ellis getting all out of shape in front of McEwen. And I think Clements was involved in that. Yeah, Clements down to 11th place now on his brand new Supersoft, and he's got damage to the rear of his car. That will not be helpful in the long run. Actually, only light damage, so it does go away after a while, but that wouldn't have helped Clements at all during that little fray. And meanwhile, Ben Milden has got past Jay Hardy for 5th place. McEwen is trying to attack Ellis here. He's on super softs compared to, well, Ellis is super softs. I think Ellis is super softs are probably 1 or 2 laps older. Quick flick of the wipers there for some reason as they go through Hawthorns up towards Westfield for the 12th time of 29. On board with McEwen as they head into Stirling. He's got better pace than the BMW ahead of him, but Ellis really parking that BMW well. McEwen's going to have to come up with something a little bit different and inventive here, I feel, to try and get past the Jägermeister number 4. Oh, Ellis hits the brakes perfectly fine. McEwen just slightly late on them. But it could be that he can brake that late, but obviously Ellis can't. Obviously, all the cars have various different braking points. As they head, there is Bristow. Sort of 4/10 of a second penalty. Jake Hill, though, is leading the race in the number 24 Jägermeister BMW. A little bit of a clip on the grass, like good control to keep it there. There is Tomkinson. Cool, just behind. Cool is gaining because Tomkinson's on the medium compound of tyre at the moment. Edwards also running his medium compound, as is Milden, although it looks like Edwards, it won't be long before he comes into the pits. Probably got another lap's worth in him. There's Hardy, Milden. He's got a lot in the tank, has Milden, with his mediums. He's recently come back in the pits by the looks of it. For those medium tyres, the left side tyre is always taking a bit of a pounding around Brands Hatch. There's Hardy running on his own. Then Ellis, followed by McEwen, and Clements is now into 9th place, hounding the Alfa Romeo, giving Ellis just a little bit here of breathing space. And here comes the Mazda. Over through Pilgrim's Drop, up Hawthorne Hill, and into Hawthorne's they go. These three, line astern. That's Hancock's in the background getting overtaken there by Adams. Adams, as we know from Suzuka, can be very, very quick. And Jake Hill in the pits now for his second stop of the day. And it looks like he went to medium tyres. And in comes McEwen. Lots of drivers coming in the pits. Yet there is Jake Hill, just under half a tank of fuel. And medium tyres on the car. Be interesting to see how that BMW handles on the harder compounder tyre. The back end really not happy, and Jake Hill ending up with a 5/10 slow down penalty. He'll need to get rid of during the race as he slides the BMW through Surtees whilst he's behind the Coca-Cola Porsche of Ben Milden down towards Pilgrim's Drop. Side by side, up through Dingledale Sheen Curve, and Hill gets the move done through Sheen Curve. A lovely little move from the Jägermeister BMW. Obviously, even though on mediums, Milden also on the medium compounder tyre, but worn mediums, which obviously makes it slightly easier for the BMW with more grip. But ultimately, Hill getting through. The two Mercedes have also switched around, so Cool leading the pack on his super softs. Probably a team decision. Tomkinson, no point holding up his teammate when he's on the faster set of tyres. Working together to try and secure a 1-2 finish for the team, but I think they're going to have a hard time because of Hill in the BMW. Clemens is up to 5th. He's on used super softs at the moment. There is Bristow. He's now got a 1-second penalty. Edwards on his soft tyres on lap 16 is in 7th, with Mark Ellis in 8th. McEwen is in 9th place, with Adams in 10th. We haven't seen much of the number 99, Adam Piper, in the number 99 Golf McLaren. It's been a bit of a, well, we haven't really seen much of him. There is Hardy in the number 18. Will Friedman with Hancock's in 14th. Another person we haven't really seen much of this race, Dean Milden in the number 22 Lexus with the Poppies livery. And currently residing at the back is his teammate, the number 62 of Brian Ross. It looks like he's had a bit of a troubled race. He's going to become lapped here from the two Mercedes. Clements also up into 5th, which will mean, yes, Ben Milden has made a pit stop for fresh super soft tyres. He's got Bristow ahead of him. Behind him he's got Edwards. Mark Ellis currently resides behind him after Edwards. Now, speaking of Ellis, he's leading this little battle because McEwen is under pressure from Adams. The GTR currently has super soft tyres on compared to the mediums that are on the Alfa Romeo. Now, we know that Alfa does not enjoy the medium compound. We've seen it at Suzuka, we saw it all the way back at Lago Maggiore, and he's gone wide through Sheen curve, and that's all that Adams needed to go through. That Alfa really can't handle those medium tyres. The back end just seems to not really want to work. Clements is in the pits. And Sean Cool has also gone for a pit stop on lap 17. He's gone to the medium tyre for his mandatory medium stint, which has allowed Jake Hill back up into 2nd place. And I'll tell you what, the gap looks big. Sheen curve to Westfield looks like a big gap, but when the pit stops play around, and Jake Hill is on fresher medium tyres as well, although he is drifting the BMW as if he wants to become in the Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift movie through Stirling. And speaking of the pit stop, Tompkinson is in. Jake Hill retakes the lead of this race because Tompkinson in the pit lane. Got a feeling Hill's undercut them again, because those are pretty fresh tyres Hill's got on. He does also have a habit of maybe running a double medium stint. As he is really drifting. Don't get me wrong, it's a very entertaining way to drive the Beamer. It's possibly not the fastest though, as I suspect he already knows. Cool on his medium tyres is 2nd place. Super softs for Tompkinson, so maybe 1 stop remaining for the Mercedes driver. Bob Bristow in the number 48. He's behind Ben Milden, who has recently got past him. Bristow's got a very worn set of super softs on his Alfa Romeo, and also 1.1 seconds of penalty to his name. So I'm assuming by the looks of his fuel gauge that he will be coming into pits either this or next lap. As he enters Stirling. Into clearways, Clark curve, and yes, he does pull into the pits. Clements is in 6th place at the moment on his medium compound in the Mazda. This has been a good showing from Chris Clements. First drive this season in the DecalLabs Track Addict GT3 League. That's your top 3 though: Hill, Cool and Tompkinson. Followed by Milden, then Edwards, Clements and then Adams, with Ellis, who still has McEwen right up his tailpipe, and it looks like Piper's gone through. Adam Piper initially getting the move done through Stirling, maybe a snap, but the Alfa Romeo back through before Hawthorne. But they've lost a fair chunk of time to Mark Ellis just ahead of them, and he'll into the pits on lap number 20. He's in stationary for quite a long time. He is now back on track in 4th place. We continue to watch this battle between McEwen and Ellis. Now goes for a pit stop. Almost following Hill's strategy here. We're still watching this battle between Piper and McEwen. McEwen in the Alfa Romeo, Piper looking down the inside of Druids. He is there, he's got the gap. He's going to have the outside though for Graham Hill Bend. McEwen doing a fantastic job with that Alfa on the medium compound, which we know it doesn't enjoy. Slightly wide, but nothing too concerning from the Alitalia driver. Number 41. As they head towards Pilgrim's Drop for the 21st time of 29. Up towards Sheen Curve. McEwen still with a lot of fuel left. I wonder if he's filled it up a little bit to try and keep the car a bit steadier, to have a bit of extra weight in the car, and potentially you'll have to fill up less for his what I would consider a final pit stop. Although speaking of this pit stop, there he goes. Interesting to see what time he goes back out on. Meanwhile, Ben Milden currently resides in 3rd place in the Coca-Cola number 27 Porsche. He's going to have Jake Hill behind him soon though. Hill now on the super softs and potentially could be looking to stretch this to the end of the race. As he goes through Hawthorns now, because Core on his medium tyres at the moment. I don't know whether he's actually made another pit stop. He couldn't have done because Tompkinson's still just behind him. So the medium's holding up quite well here for Sean Core as he moves on to lap 23. Maybe he's looking to stretch his tyres to the end. Super soft tyres for Tompkinson. Colour changing paint. See, that's on the base of the car. All the black decaled over it. There's Milden, followed by Hill. Then you got Clements with Edwards. Bristow in a race of his own. There's McEwen, followed by Adams, followed by Piper. Then Hardy, Friedman, and I don't know what's happened to Ellis, but he's lost a lot of time. He's now down to 13th place. And the back end of that BMW really doesn't look very happy, it's fair to say. Hancock's is in 14th with Dean Milden 15th, and Brian Ross currently residing in last place. Clements currently in 5th in the number 7 Mazda. Ben Milden in the pits for his final stop of the day. He's back out. Fresh super soft tyres. He's got about 6 laps to make those tyres last. So it looks like 5 on the top left, but it is 6 because he's still got to do lap 24. Through 30s. Question is, will any of the Mercedes, who are now going side by side, that's it, team orders out the window. Cool is now looking to take the win, even though he's actually been overtaken by Tompkinson in the last lap. Tompkinson on that faster tyre compared to Cool. And Sean Cool actually having to go into the pit lane for his final stop of the day. He's going to get rid of those medium tyres, put on some super softs. What an action. No, oh, that's very interesting. No, he has gone super softs. It has now updated on my screen. Clements in the pits as well. So racing super softs for the Mercedes AMG driver. Hill is on those soft tyres and looking to go to the end. So how quick he has, actually Hill's still got the fastest lap. He's done a 122.4. How quick can Cool go on that set of super soft tyres? Meanwhile, further back, that is Clements. Here we go. McEwen is being followed by Bristow. Oh, he's gone 1 too far because it was Adams in 9th place and Piper in the number 99 Golf McLaren. These 4 lying astern, mainly behind Bristow. Adams just looking for a move. He was looking to the outside of Hawthorns, but has he managed to get a switch back? Not quite into Westfield. Bristow coming under fire, but Piper's also there if anything goes wrong. They head through Stirling down the hill towards Clearways and Clark Curve. Onto the Brabham Straight. This to complete lap 25 of 29. The race gradually coming to a close. Adams, will he pull out? Yes, he's having a look, but Bristow covers him off. I don't know what happened to Bristow there, but he's actually lost a place to Piper, almost lost it to Adams. Checking back the second place battle that could be brewing. So Piper gets up into 8th place now, in front of Bristow. And they're still battling behind. Bristow with a half-second penalty. Adams still looking to like the outside of Westfield to try and put Bristow off. Through Stirling they go towards Clearways and Clark Curve. Adams pulls out to the outside of Paddock Hill, maybe looking, yes, he's braked a bit earlier, looking for the switchback. The Alfa Romeo very nicely parks it on the apex. A very good tactic from Bristow, but we're going to head to this little battle now, because who actually now has the fastest lap? Because it isn't Jake Hill anymore, it's not Sean Cool, it's not Tompkinson either. Someone has stolen the fastest lap. But This will become the battle for second place. Yet again, Tompkinson has packed up his things and left the building. As we head on to the penultimate lap of the race, the Jägermeister number 24 up against the AMG Mercedes number 14 of Sean Court. Down into Graham Hill Bend. See how long the bonnet is. I mean, this is... Oh! Jake Hill makes the mistake. The back end of the BMW gets sideways and he's off the circuit. Sean Cool seizes the opportunity. The BMW getting unsettled on the curbs going through Surtees. And Cool makes no mistake in putting out the inside, taking second place away from Jake Hill. It was a slightly unforced error really for Hill, just taking too much curb on the worn soft tyres. And we've seen just how, I don't know what the best word is, but it's just how twitchy that BMW is. Piper's also got past McEwen in the meantime. Oh, that's McEwen round. And Bristow all over the grass. And McEwen putting a wheel onto the grass through Sheen Curve, and the cars, they won't hesitate in spitting you off if you start touching the grass with them. Adams though, still all over the back. It looks like we've managed to get to the outside of Bristow. Bristow still fighting this hard through Panic Hill, immediately defensive into Druids. Behind us, Will Friedman. Will Friedman is making the move down the inside of Adams. A fantastic, opportunistic move from Friedman, the number 8 Coca-Cola Porsche. Seizes his opportunity to an absolute T. Let's check where the leaders are. There is Tompkinson. So Tompkinson for the number 44 AMG Mercedes takes the victory here at Brands Hatch GP. Brian Ross takes 16th, a lap down. Sean Cool takes second place. A Mercedes 1-2. Jake Hill third. Ben Milden will come home in fourth. Chris Clements on his first race of this season for the GT3 League will come take a respectable top 5 place. A great drive by him in that Mazda, obviously in placement of Jordan Hogan. Lewis Edwards ended up being a quiet race in the end, but 6th place, some more solid points for him after taking pole position. His teammate Adam Piper will come home after him in 7th, but this battle still raging on. Friedman looking to try and go past the Alfa Romeo. Here comes Adams down the inside. Bristow takes 8th place, Adams takes 9th. And actually, Bristow takes 10th, Friedman 8th, Adams 9th, Bristow 10th, Liam Thurso 11th, Hancock's 12th, Hardy 13th, Ellis 14th, and here comes D. Milden to round out 15th spot.